What's up, everybody? So, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a clue whatsoever right now. That's usually how it starts out. Is there'll just be a large period of just cluelessness before my brain starts to turn back on. All the systems start to recalibrate. It's just that exactly that my calibration process just has to load up the operating system, and because it's like I don't know, man. It's like talking to somebody you're like madly. It's like somebody you're madly in love with comes in the room and starts talking to you. Like you forget everything you know, type of shit. You know. But for me, that's like everybody. Not I'm not madly in love with everybody, but that's just how it be. Sometimes I just don't know. Somebody could walk in the room and you just don't really know what words you're supposed to spew at them, what they want to hear. That's mostly what it's all about. Um, it's just like what people want to hear, honestly. That's what it comes down to. That's the core of the whole thing. I guess you can um sort of. I hate when I can't get the right word. I know a word that I could use, but it's not the word. It's not good enough. Um, Not differentiate. Contemplate? No. Evaluate. It's like every other word, but in the English dictionary. But the one I'm looking for comes to mind. But yeah, it's a, what I was talking about didn't even matter. But um, the sentence I was trying to figure out the word for didn't matter that much. It didn't contribute that much to what I was trying to get across. But what was I trying to get across? What was I saying? What was I talking? I know what I was talking about, but I don't know where I left off. Um, right. No, no, there was something after that. I remember the part where I was like, telling all it's about is telling people what they want to hear. That is kind of what it's about, though. It's just like you want to make sure that's the only way anybody's ever gonna like you is like if you tell them what they want to hear. Um, which it's obvious that everybody has something that they like and dislike, but if nobody wants to hear what you have to say, it's not really their fault, I guess. Nor is it yours, which is the balance of life is being able to know that, like, being able to know when something that's painful to you isn't no someone else's fault, nor is it your own. That's a very hard thing to accept. Usually, with most people in the world, it has to be one or the other, and it's about um, it's about putting, seeing what determining which side of the argument has more points added to it. When really, there's both points present, so both points are true. Both sides of it are true. But um, yeah, that's just what it'd be like when you're trying to put things into perspective, I guess. Um, Sometimes I see people that like when there's people that are naturally good at putting things in perspective. If they see things as like just a accumulation of all truths, but you'd think that those people are like those people tend to go against what you'd assume they would be, which is like an all right, all knowing person, but in like a warm and um like a good way, positive way. But even though like positivity isn't all about just a good feeling, it's about the it's what consistently causes you to increase over time. Consistently, not dramatically or sporadically, just consistently over time, a little bit, little increments of positivity. That's what you want to gain out of life, is just a little tidbits here and there. Um, but it's way easier to be down than it is up. It's just the truth is that, what was I was saying? How I lost the plot, bro. But like, positivity isn't all about just the things that make you feel good. It's more about, like I said, the uprise, but the things within that uprise usually don't always feel good in the moment. They don't always, it's just truth. That's what I view positivity as. It's just truths that don't, positivity isn't all about an emotion, is what I'm trying to say, I guess. You know, a good emotion is just one positive thing. You have to make sure that every little aspect of your life is in some way growing up. That's a hard thing to do, but if you don't, then like, would you rather raise your whole being or just like one part of yourself while everything else goes to shit? That's what leads you to, that's what leads people to like disconnect from everything. That's what leads people to live in la la land their whole life, in their brains and shit, and just like never leave it. Which I don't know. It's again, one of the things, like, it can be damaging, detrimental, diminishing to society, but you can't really be negative to people like that. This is include. I'm speaking for all all people in net negatives, homeless people, people with mental issues, and because usually it is that it's usually just people with issues, but I think the truth is that like the more you understand about it, the better. The more you just see it as like they're just people who are. There is no other way they could be living life. This goes for everybody. There's no other way you could. There's no other place you could be than where you are right now. The universe where, let's say there are different universes, which there probably are. Um, I mean, I think there's different universes. Think that's like, I don't know if it's like a scientifically, um, I don't know if most scientists will agree with you on that or not. I don't know if that's recommended by 9 out of 10 doctors, but they should start doing that with beliefs. Have it recommended by a certain number of doctors. That'll be a sure, surefire. What's the term? I don't know. That'd just be a good way to manipulate society. That's obviously what it would turn into. But yeah, um, let's say there was a different universe where these low living people are actually doing great, doing awesome. That universe would also have like a bunch of things, even from like their birth, be different. The way their brain is made up or shit, it would be slightly different, but slight changes in your brain causes major changes in what you are and who you are and what you do. And like, sometimes, I mean, shit, there's been times when people get like head injuries or shit, and their whole, it's like completely life altering, bro. So many, and it would be like, sometimes it can be anywhere from like a major head injury that it's like surprising that they made it through, made it like without um like damage, like severe damage. But other times, just like little like love taps can cause like Well, it's just the right angle at the right time can ruin your shit, man. There was a guy who fell. This is kind of like, nah, I don't know. Three stories is pretty far, but he fell that right on his head, and he was fine. And then it happened a second time, two times, but right after, one after another. I don't know if it was the same exact thing, but after the second time, while the damage was still there and he re-injured it, that's when shit goes down, bro. That's when you really start seeing like weird shit happen to people. Um, and I think he became like a killer or something, just something crazy. But everything in him still functioned. Like he could probably still do math and talk to you and have a normal conversation. But like, I don't know. And then there was the guy that got everyone learns about it in school. He got the fucking pole launched through his head. Hell no, bro. I wouldn't want to live. I would not want to live like that person. Like, you might be able to say like he could still function, which he didn't. He 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 like socially regressed and he retreated from all people in his life and he just like went out in the wilderness to just talk to animals or something. But even if someone makes it through head injuries and they seem like fine and you could say they're fine or whatever, the way that they experience life could be so, you have no idea how different that part is. You can't see that, you know? And that's not even something you could really explain as a person. That's crazy to me, bro, to think about. And it's even, you know, that concept is present just between, you and me, you and you and us all. We all experience things completely different, bro. You could have two people come up with the same exact conclusion for a opinion based subject and have over time and time again and have the same personality and do the same things with their life but still experience it so differently. That's a cool thing. I mean, it's cool but also scary. It's a cool and scary thing to think about. Scary, spooky, creepy, hilarious. Who said that? That was stuck in my head a couple days ago. Right now what's been stuck in my head is one bar from, it'll usually be one bar from a song. It can't, my brain can't ever just like have it be like a whole full song played through or like different parts of the song over time where it's not, it has to be like the part of the song that's the most annoying, because like it'll turn a song that I like into a song that's just like dreadful, bro. I can listen to the whole thing. When that bar comes up, I'm like, bro, oh my god, all right, let's get through this part, bro. Can't wait to, yeah, you get the point. But I don't know, bro. Songs getting stuck in your head is just it's not really day ruining. It's just like it is kind of I don't know, man. Having, if it's bad enough, bro, that could like knock your whole mood off course. Sometimes that be happening to people, bro. Sometimes like sometimes people can display personality traits of that of like personality disorder, like a mood disorder or something, but it's like completely rational. Of course, someone with a mood disorder would think that what they do is completely rational, but like sometimes it seems something could really strongly seem like it is a mood disorder. and it's just like something really good could happen and then something really bad could happen right after it, and that's like that checks out as something that makes sense, bro. That works. That's a normal operating person, I guess. Um, so if you're, if we have any of those people that are just like chronic Googlers worrying if they have that, it's usually stuff like that. For me, at least, like usually any stuff that's just like just like a mental issue or whatever. It's weird because like sometimes a lot of the times the symptoms of them like show up in a lot of people that don't actually have it, and it'll just be like a little bit, and your mind sometimes amplifies things, so you could hear something like that, bro, and then you could just be like, wait a second, wait, bro, hold on, I do all of that. Oh my god, I have I have uh uh um arachnophobia. Oh my god, like everybody's scared of spiders, bro. That's a, that's a good example though. Like a lot of phobias, like there's most people are scared of spiders, but there's a difference between that and arachnophobia, or I think so at least. Like there's a like an incessant. There's just something that makes it different. I don't know. Who am I say, bro? I don't have a scholarship. You don't see me wearing a college degree on my back. Who would do that? What am I saying, bro? You ever see people that have like 100, not 100, that's an exasperation, but like a good like 30 plaques on their wall, like a doctor or just anybody who wants to seem credible. Like we could just have a competition. Whoever has the most plaques is right about everything. That's how we're gonna put it from now on, okay? And like I don't get it, bro. Why you like you get it, you're qualified to say what you're saying. Um, but you and other people who are just as qualified with as you will know what you're talking about. It doesn't matter how many plaques you have. Um, the average person shouldn't, even though they would, the average person shouldn't like really give a shit about what you're saying, bro. Unless like you shouldn't really listen into what people are saying if they know a lot more than you, and it's that obvious, bro. I don't know about just blindly listening to people, but like I don't know. That's more of a because the only reason that's not good to do is if like there's other people disagreeing with them. Like I guess it's really confusing when it comes to scientific shit and having an opinion. Like, I don't know. Should you not have an opinion? Because if you don't, then you're being ignorant. But if you do, you could also be being ignorant. So like, what do you really? And like, you can't really make up your own thoughts about it. And if every scientist is on one side or another, you can't do the shit I was just talking about, where you like add it all up into one truth. You can't, because that's like just making up a whole new truth. And that's if a scientist isn't doing that, then it's probably for a reason. It's because there's minute pieces of evidence that one hasn't seen or the other has, and it's like I don't know, man. And yeah, I don't know. Don't sometimes I just be saying shit that don't really. Oh my god, bro, my shit's itching. Sometimes I be saying shit that just don't make no damn sense. It's But would you rather that or say nothing at all? I don't think anybody should be constricting themselves by fear of not making sense, bro. Just say whatever, just bro. Just don't make any sense. Like honestly, just like when you're so like super shy about what you say and you actually care and you do like no matter what, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like if you're confident or inconfident or incompetent or whatever, that won't change. Confidence won't change competence, is what I'm trying to get at. So if you're constantly trying to improve your confidence and then you're just like making it worse again by trying to see like how smart you are, how much you know, like that shit doesn't change, bro. It's more about like a feeling that you get. It's more about just feeling okay with who you are, rather than changing it. That's what changes a lot of that's what makes a lot of the self perceiving type of improvements like actually work, like is when you realize you're not actually trying to change anything, you're just literally trying to like just be okay with it as it is, then that poses its own challenge, but it's easier than the impossible one, which is changing who you are, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just it's possible, bro. You just need the right person to tell you how to do it, I guess. um that's what everyone says, at least, there would be people who will go through like 20 therapists and none of them will work. Not a single one will work, bro. And maybe not 20. Here I go again with exacerbating. Exaggerating. Exacerbating is like the English fancy way of saying exaggerating. And that's like the too much way of saying too much. The fancy way of saying too much. Or no, no, that doesn't actually work. Too much and like I swear I know the definition. Most words you say, it's weird because you can know like how to use a word, where to put it, how to say it. Like you can know the meaning behind it, and it actually makes sense when you say it. But like, not most of the time, bro. Words like that, like you also at the same time wouldn't be able to define it without using the word in the sentence, which is weird. I guess it's because like knowing a definition and just knowing where something fits, knowing where something like fits is different than knowing why it does. Um, so that's what makes so many people use fancy words and not know what they mean. I always like there's people that'll ask you like if you say a big word, they'll be like, "All right, spell it," and they'll try and use that as a reason that you don't know what you're talking about. But like that's still a very different thing than just you know what I mean. Like it doesn't actually mean you don't know what you're talking about, bro. You don't have to know every fact and detail about everything. Like I said before, just be saying shit. That's okay to just say shit. If someone's really poking and prodding that much at what you're saying, like that's on them. And it's not cool, man. Don't be that guy. The only way to the only way to proceed forward with anybody like that, I think, is to just like find a way to like view yourself above them, not in a condescending way. That's you don't want to talk to somebody condescendingly, but just that's it's one thing to just like view yourself as above, but like to actually act or do anything about it. I think the only good reason for having that is like, because you can have 100 people viewing everybody as below them, but if they, and there will be nothing wrong with that, but if they actually try and act on it all the time, then you have yourself a mass power struggle. So that's where it's a good thing, bro. You just like let it, just like, allow yourself to that. That's what you have to do with people like that. You just have to have a load of compassion in one hand and a few hundred drops of self worth in another, and add them together, and you got yourself the solution. Um, and I don't know, bro. That's just how it's just like it's just the way you gotta rock with it, man. That's how you gotta rock with it. Sometimes it's about rolling your punches and rolling your punches. Talking about breaking your wrist when you punch someone. Oh, bro, you want to punch straight and forward, okay? It's advice from somebody who punched crooked and broke their hand. You always want to listen to the people who fucked up the most. You got that? Listen to the people who have fucked up so much that they have battle scars and stories. And every time someone fucks up and like, you see the results of how they've messed up on them, bro, or it's just like stuck with them forever. Every one of those things is a lesson, bro. That is a permanent lesson that stays with somebody. So, you could, not for everything, of course, when it comes to like science and shit like that, those lessons are all over generations of people dying, getting fucked up. That's how we've learned with science, and we've learned enough to where we can build on top of that. But like basically the core of learning is just fucking up. And if anyone's telling you like you know you have if someone was telling you like you have sucked before at the thing that you're trying to teach people to do, or you know be really good at, like, that's not a reason to give up, bro. Never. Never ever, bro. Even if you're not good and you're still trying to, like, if you're not good at something, you're trying to teach someone about it, that's just, I don't know about that one, but like, if you're not good at something and you're trying to learn it, there's you just gotta like let, what's that song? Something let live. I was listening to this the other day. Gotta live and let live. Yeah, that's the saying right there. Live and let live, bro. Even if people aren't living and letting you live, you gotta live and let live, bro. Cause like if you if you don't live and you don't let live, or you're trying to live and you're not letting live because everyone else isn't letting you live, then you're just creating a cycle where everyone else is thinking, I mean, I'm not gonna do that either. What? What? Why would I change? I think that's a reasonable thing too, is to just tell yourself, a reasonable line of thinking is to think like, why would I change when no one else does? I guess, but the truth is that you just gotta let it. It's like everyone else has their own problem. I don't know, man. It's not really. It just, I don't know why, but I feel like I know that this is something that works. I know that it's like truth, but like when it comes down to it, bro, I can't really explain to somebody like logically. Yes, you are probably right that being the different one is usually not a very good choice, but like the only way for the world to be a better place is to start with one. So The only way for anything to ever go in a different way than what it is with one person, bro. One person making a choice and sticking with it just because. But that's such a rare thing, and I don't know if it's rare because it's like a rare dumb person or a rare smart person that understands that. But it's you could definitely debate someone on whether or not someone being peaceful with themselves is because they're dumb or smart, or it's because they're smart. It's a pretty um yeah, no, bro. You could genuinely like. I've seen it before. There's been people talking about like how dumber people live at a level of life where like there's just like less on their mind. There's less weighing on them. But I don't know. I would say that like your mind adjusts to what it's most exposed to. So evolution, if we just think about evolution and how, obviously like if there's somebody with a certain type of mind, it's because like at some point it was somebody had that evolutionary trait and it was beneficial to them, but being hurt by your mind's capability usually wouldn't be beneficial to you. You know what I mean? So if you could think really smart, I feel like the person who could think smart and also be okay with their own thoughts and sort of adjust to it, like adjusting to your thoughts is also something that benefits you. So I'd say it's more of a ability to adjust to your own thoughts type of thing rather than just being a smart aleck. Uh, but yeah, that's because I'm going, bro. I'm not trying to do like 40 minutes of this, so um, that would be a cool idea just to see how far I could go. I just like go until my phone just like runs out of battery or something, or runs out of storage because I can't. Actually, now I'm thinking about it. Now that I think about it, this thing that I have plugged in that's connected to this motherfucker right here has a charging port. So like, wouldn't it be wise of the person who made this to make it so that when you charge it, while it's plugged into the phone, it trickle charges the phone? Wouldn't that be a smart design choice? I can test it out. Let's see. Let's see if this actually works. Okay, it does actually work. I didn't know that. That's cool. So I've, in a way, converted my phone from Lightning to USB-C. That's cool. It's cool. I've been really. Sometimes it makes me a little down that my phone's not USB-C or I don't have any USB-C Apple devices because apparently they have all this cool shit you can do. The new rollout of iPads is fucking crazy, bro. You can just use them as a laptop. You just set them up with that little keyboard. I've had that before on an iPad mini, and it was a tumultuous. That I'm guessing that word. I don't know. That might be good, might not. But it was an experience that I didn't enjoy. Um, especially with the mouse shit, because you had to do it through fucking accessibility. It wasn't like a real feature, but like it disabled people. They just I don't know how that made sense. Why that wasn't accessibility, but I guess it was the only place they could put it where like you can turn it on and off. It was before they had the control center. I think I don't remember, but yeah, the mouse would you would click it and then it would have this like load thing go around, like this bar that would go around it and then it would click again. It would double click. And there was no goddamn way to turn that off. And um yeah, this is for when you had a mouse plugged in, but like I don't know why I had to use it, but I just did. I really really wanted a computer, I guess. I did anything to have a computer, bro. I went as far as to make one out of cardboard. So I was like, it had actual components in it, bro. I wasn't just fucking sitting at my desk with a cardboard computer, cardboard monitor, cardboard everything, just being a retard. I had components in it and I plugged it into a monitor, but it was still a laptop. Um, this was after I got the iPad, but like, yeah, man, that was before Apple basically figured out every accessory that people were making for their devices and improved it so good. And also it was less of like just making a better product but more of just like completely making everything that was third party unfeasible, unusable, useless, completely garbage, just a piece of plastic. um and that's usually how they be rolling, bro. You can't change screens, charging ports, anything in the phone, bro. If your battery's about to blow up, you might as well just get a new phone. And when you bring it there, they're gonna say you might as well just get the newest phone. You might as well. We got it. We got 7 deals for you this time. All right. You got iPhone coupon. We were handing out iPhone coupons to this like they'll just give you anything, bro. Every single employee that works at those places, AT&T, Verizon, wherever you go, they'll be acting like they're your best friend. But like I know it's just a ploy, a scheme, but like it genuinely do be working, bro. Like I know for a fact, like the phone, they advertise the phones as like $1,000 off release and all this shit. It's really like it's really like $700, bro, or whatever you end up like. However you walk out of that store having paid, bro. That's how much everyone's paying for the phone, bro. All the deals they be giving you for that shit. They just say the phone is $1,000 when it's actually way less than that, just so that they can throw the deals on, pretend that they you know fucking LARP that there's deals on it, and just give you a free, not free, bro. Could you imagine? Hell nah, bro. I mean, bro, phones are like what like pen and paper were, bro. There was nobody on earth that didn't have at least. Well, I'm actually wrong about that. Huh? I'm a little bit wrong about that. Boy. But you get what I'm saying, bro. It's just like it's beyond household object. It's person object, bro. There's no such thing as a person without a phone. They just are a thing together. I said that weird. It's not this thing as a person without a phone. I don't know, but yeah. All right, bro. I gotta I gotta jump out like Osama. Jump out, jump out, jump out, jump out. All right, my guys.